Today we're going to be attempting to repair this AT&T answering machine. This is the AT&T 1330, and this is not going to be a fun one. I suspect that replacing the belts will get it going again, but this has a psychotic design where you can't remove or add a new belt without removing several of the circuit boards, and they're like soldered together, so not good. Okay, so now with those screws removed, we should be able to get inside the machine and make sure that we don't misplace any of these screws. And we only got 4 of them. Where's the 5th one? Come on. Okay. So, the cover comes off very easily, which is super deceiving because nothing will be easy from here out. So the problem is that we have a belt here. We have this belt here, which is, as you can see, it's completely spoiled. So the issue is that this plate has to come off in order to get the belt off, which means this whole circuit board has to come off, which has 2, 4, 6, 7 wires soldered over the top, preventing it from coming out. So unless I'm misunderstanding the way this is assembled, we may have to remove all those wires in order to get this thing out, which is just absurd. Okay, so now I don't think that there's anything I can disconnect. It seems like I could take the speaker out. I could do that. I can unplug this, but I don't think that this will give me the slack that I need. This may also be more difficult to unplug than it should be. Okay, so that's off. Speaker is going to be a little bit tough to unscrew because you don't really have enough slack to quite get in there. Let's see if removing these plugs does us any good. These are going to be difficult to unplug. Are these not plugs? They sure look like they're plugs. Well, I don't think that removing them will give us the access we need, so it may not be worth fiddling with these too much. Maybe those aren't plugs. Okay, so there's really no conceivable way to get at this without This is the main issue right here. That's the microphone. You know, if I could get that speaker off, I may be able to get it. May be able to do this without going crazy. Let's try the speaker first. I knew something like that would happen. And now there's one more screw at the bottom, which is a lot of phone calls today. Hello. 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 Stupid jerk. Okay, so it's going to be almost impossible to undo that screw. Maybe I can grab it at this angle. Oh man, this is brutal. Oh. I guess that's good enough. Okay. So now, I actually think I can, well, I can almost finagle it enough to get to both. I can get to either screw on the side, but I can't quite get to the one down below. And those bolts are way too small to try to work at them from an angle. It's just not realistic. Don't think that this battery unit will slip out. Well, let's see what I can do from here. We're going to need some pretty small bits here. I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Oh, I may be able to just flex it up enough to pull that bearing off. So I can't get this to move over enough. This is such a stupid design. They must have had a lot of psychotic people working for them at the time to come up with this kind of nonsense. It'll be nothing short of a miracle if we get through this whole thing without breaking any solder joints. They're pretty sturdy though, so maybe it'll be okay. Alright, now this is going to get a little bit cringy here. I think I can do it this way. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of bend this up This is not really the best thing to do, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to bend this up just enough so that I can slip out the old belt. Oh, actually, you know what? Well, this will move. Hey, we can just do that. We can slide this up like this. Okay, now we have good access. Do not come out of there. Now, and the other belt is working fine, so part of me does not want to change it, but I'm thinking that it would be in the best interest to just go ahead and change it, because it's as old as the other one is, and it is a little bit soft. So I'm just going to change them both, even though I think this one is still working. Yeah, it's a little weird. Okay. So the missing component from last time is present this time. I need this to just stand up nicely while I find the right size belt. Seriously, I tell you, the packaging waste that is going on right now is just unbelievable. I do not understand how people are failing to see this as an issue. I'm going to just take all these belts and put them into the other bag, because this bag I can keep using. Okay, so now we've got to find out what size we need. Hopefully we have the right sizes here. That's obviously not the right size. Those are a little bit too small, I think. That's good. So we'll use that one for the smaller belt, and then for the larger belt, which is stretched a bit much, I think we're going to use, let's see here, that's a bit too big actually. We may need to get, I think this size is what we're going to want. Yep, I think that's the right size. So we'll check it, but that should be the right size. Alright, so now let's get this on here. It's going to be a bit tricky, because this is a terrible angle to work with. Why did that just come flying out of there? And if you can't see this too well, well, that's just too bad, because I can't even see it too well, and I'm sitting here in person. Alright, so that's on there. My hands are too big for this kind of stuff. You know, give me a wrench or something, not a little tiny microscopic belt. I used to work on laptops for a living. I couldn't do it anymore. These things are too small. Now this is the same problem. Stuff is too small. Okay, now I believe that it went on the bottom of this other wheel here. I think that's how it was, like that. Oh, it just slipped off the main pulley here. Okay, I think that's how it was. Looks right. And then the larger one should be easier to put on, because it just needs to go down here like this. I should have known nothing was going to be easy with this thing. Okay. It's on, and that's working. Everything is rotating correctly now. I feel like this other belt is a hair too small, but I don't really feel like changing it out. Already in here, I might as well make sure that it's the right size. Let me see if there's one that's a better fit for this component. See if I got one that's a little bit bigger than that. Not much, just a little bit. I don't think that I have a size in between that and the... Well, that one is a little bit bigger. What else do we got here? That may be the best size, I think, for this. Where we got that. Let's see. It's got to be small enough that it has the right tension, but if it's too big, or if it's too small, it's just going to end up breaking. That's too small. That's not going to work. Okay, I think this one is going to work better. Yeah, that's better. It's not quite as tight as the other one was, which I think was just too tight. Even that seems a bit tight to me, but we may have to do, because I think the next size is well, it's not that tight. Alright, we'll go with that, and then put this one back on. I don't think that we want to have any of that twisting in there. It should be just flat on there. come on. Really? Okay, I think that's correct now. So let's slip this back down. And this is a little bit bent now, but you know, it'll be okay because the bolts will hold it in place. Okay. So now before I patch it back together, I want to power it on and make sure that it seems like it's going to work. So we'll just let that sit like that. Make sure we don't have anything metal underneath there, because that may not end well. And let's power it on and see what happens. Alright, so I'll just put a cassette in and this is all screwed up here. Just looking for some kind of movement of the tape. Well, it did do some movements, but it's ultimately producing the same error. Seems like the tape is not moving. Is it slipping? No, it's like it's stuck. Okay, now we have operation. It just keeps saying wait on the screen. There's no error yet. But it also doesn't look like it's doing anything. Doesn't seem like it's trying to either. Well, I think it's working. Maybe this belt was a bit too loose. I don't really know what exactly the tension should be like. I'm going to try a belt that's a little bit tighter. I mean, it seems like it would work, but I don't know. I guess it's working. No, it's slipping. It just slipped right there. No, it's not slipping now. It's just not initializing correctly. Okay, and now the problem is it's still in read mode, so I can't get the tape out. It sounds like something is slipping, but And again, it's running correctly. I don't know what. Okay. Let me try a different tape. I don't necessarily think that tape is bad, but I don't know. Maybe it is. Let's try this tape. I think this is at the beginning. I would imagine at this point it's seeking for that sound of the end of the OGM, which of course it's not going to find because there isn't anything recorded on here. So now it's stuck in the same, it's doing the same thing, it's stuck in the read position. just full of errors again. It's like it's not, I wonder if something else is jammed here. It's not releasing the heads. I wonder if there's some other issues. Now, there we go, now it let go of it. Something's still not right. And I don't know what it is. It looks like everything is mechanically correct, other than the heads are not going back down. Okay, so right there, this was slipping, so I wonder if maybe this needs a tighter belt. I mean, it seems to me like it's already pretty tight, but maybe it's not tight enough. Oh, let me see if I can get a size smaller on here. That may be what we need to do. Really not an expert in cassette machines. I don't know exactly what the tension is supposed to feel like. Maybe I don't have exactly the right size here. Oh, this one feels a little bit smaller. I can't remember if this was the original one that I was using or not. Let's see how it fits. This is so ridiculous. I can't believe a consumable component is this difficult to get to. That's not correct design at all. I think that's the one that I had on there before, so let's try that shorter one. This is ludicrous. I've never seen a tape thing like this in my life. I don't know what AT&T was thinking at this time. And these must have just been throwaway units when they came back. There's no way somebody sat there and did this when the machines came in for repair. This is absurd. It's too bad because it's nice stuff when it works, but this is a joke. Okay, that's a little bit tighter. Let's see if that does anything different. Seems like it's working better now. Okay, we have a successful initialization. Alright, so I guess that other belt was not the right tension and something wasn't doing what it was supposed to do there. Okay, so now that we have the right tension and we have a set of good working belts in there, let's see if we can get this thing back together without anything breaking. And it's going to be a challenge for sure. These two little bolts are going to probably be the worst to get back on because they're so small, it's ridiculous. You can't get a good angle on it with the driver here. It's gonna have to be good enough. I can't get it much tighter than that without being unreasonable with the force. Why is this all screwed up now? Oh, this is going to be a thriller right here. Hopefully I can get this back on. I lose a lot of access to that. once this board goes back into place. This is not going to go good at all because the magnet on that speaker is too strong and it's sucking everything at it uncontrollably. This is going to be the worst part right here. I thought it was going to be those bolts, but inherently it's not. It's going to be this. And I think what may end up happening is this is going to go back together with only 3 of these because it's not worth the time of day. This doesn't sit in place, it just kind of like hovers there. So trying to get this to screw in there is not easy. I can't beat that magnetism, it's too strong. I hate when equipment is built like this. It's just, this is stupid. This is a stupid design and it shouldn't be. It should be simple. And we have to struggle like this just to replace a speaker? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. It's ridiculous. This is such a stupid design. Who builds this stuff? People that don't work on it, that's for sure. The people that service this stuff designed it. You would never see something like this. the OK. Looks like that's back together now. The belts are looking good. So I think we're on the home stretch here. So this board just sits on here like that. It's stripped out, so that's whatever. Okay, I think we're good. The volume knob goes like this, I think. Yep. And this goes back on. This should go back on easily. It came off easily. It's not quite closing right on that one corner. I don't know why, since that was in the way. That could have been in the way. And all these wires are right where a screw hole goes. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's why you don't force things shut. If they don't close, there's typically a reason for it. You got to check it. Because it could have drilled right through that wire and then the whole thing would have had a problem. See, now it's shutting correctly. So, okay. Okay, it's all back together. Let's power it up and see what transpires. Okay, it looks like it has initialized successfully and is ready to be operated.